Oh, good crack. All right, everybody. What's up, man? How's it going today? Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to start in just a minute. Let some people get online and then go from there. So today's date is now Monday, April the 7th. And Q3 around the corner. Was hoping for a very good Q3, but it seems like these tariffs are starting to impact us very negatively for now, short term. I'm not going to get into the fundamentals of it too much, but long term, these tariffs are definitely good for the economy in America and good for everybody and good for crypto. But it's just hard to see that right now, short term, because of everything dropping extremely hard right now. So welcome everybody. Today's date is now April the 7th, Monday. It's now Q2. It's the fourth month of the year, and Bitcoin has now made another low, a major low that is going to impact us in a very negative way very soon. But there's a silver lining that you're going to hear about, so make sure to stay to the very end to get a very precise update on the market from a technical perspective. So for those that don't know me, my name is Philakone. I've been in the crypto space now for 10 years, and I remember 10 years ago in 2015 I was basically living in my parents' basement. I was like asking them to borrow a few dollars here and there so I could save it up to buy like a pack of cigarettes or a few beers and stuff like that. Fast forward 10 years of spending a lot of time learning how to day trade and also investing throughout 3 major bull cycles now and 2 major bear markets. I would say I'm somebody that has the experience that can perhaps help you guide yourself as well through this crazy journey that we've seen. So let's see what we can make sense of the market today. Let's talk about Bitcoin and go from there. So right now, Bitcoin is on a tear, guys. We're gonna look at it from the macro perspective, and then you guys are gonna see exactly what I see, and I hope it makes sense as well. So my stance is very bearish. Okay, I have firmly believed that the bull market is over. Okay, for good reason too. And I can argue it in many ways from a technical perspective, okay? So from a technical perspective, like I'm gonna explain for those that don't know Elliot wave theory. Elliot wave theory was invented by Ralph Elliot Nelson, and or Ralph Nelson Elliot rather. It could be the other way around. So Elliot wave theory says that the market, it ebbs and it flows in fractals. So it's gonna make 5 fractals, and whenever it makes 5 fractals, it has a major correction. Inside of each one of these fractals, there's also going to be 5 waves inside of them. These are called impulsive waves. Okay, this is an impulsive wave, and then 5 waves are usually made. It's very rare for us to find exactly 5 waves, just like how I've drawn it. And if it is ever identified and seen, there is a very high confidence rate that all 5 waves are in. So if you actually notice here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But it actually makes 1 fractal. So because of that logic, you can also say that if there's 5 waves, then it means that this is 1 big fractal as well. Notice for every single fractal, there is a gigantic move to the downside, right? There's a fractal over here, and then there's a move that comes down. A fractal there that makes 5, then a move that comes down. Therefore, if this makes 5 waves as well, there's going to be a great correction of the greater degree. Just like this that we see right now, okay? That is the basic of Elliott wave theory. It is very rare that it's wrong if you are able to identify 5 of these. The only time it can be wrong is when we think that this is 5 waves that have formed, and then instead it actually goes up instead. Okay, it makes a gigantic 5th wave instead of coming down, and then this one ends up becoming like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are called extended waves. Extended waves are not predictable until they actually happen. Now, this is a very common strat. You guys can read any book that you want on Elliott wave theory and go from there. What you're gonna notice is that this right here is making 5 clear waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that goes up just like that. And then this one is also going to make 5 clear waves. I'm just changing this right here so you guys can see this better, okay? So now that you see that, you can also see the 3rd wave, how it makes a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and then a 5. So the 3rd wave was actually very clear, right? And then you can see here, the 5th wave sort of went parabolic, And then we can see here that it makes a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Okay? So those are very clear 5-wave counts. Now, another thing that we're going to talk about is this. More theory for you guys. So when you see a 5-wave count like this, okay, that's not enough to say that the bear market is beginning. It's not enough to say that it's not possible for it to go up. Okay, so we're going to look for other things that's going to combine with this theory. And this is going to be called bearishly diverging signs. So you basically take Elliot wave theory and then excuse me guys, sorry. Elliot wave theory, and then what you're going to do is combine it with other indicators. It can be anything you like. I personally like MACD and also Elliot wave, RSI. So what you're going to hunt for are bearishly diverging signs. What you want is, this is going to be RSI, okay? You want the third wave to have the highest RSI. And then you're going to confirm that the fifth wave is indeed in when the RSI is creating something called a lower high. Okay, this is very common knowledge, right? So what you're seeing is the price of wave 5 higher than the price of wave 3. But what you're seeing is the RSI of wave 5 lower than wave 3. So this is a sign of losing strength in the market, okay? So this is a major way of telling that the fifth wave is in. This is also one of the strategies that I've used to make, honestly, millions and millions of dollars in the market, okay? Whenever I see this combination, it is gonna be something that I add a tremendous amount of size to short the market. That's why, for example, in December alone, right, in the months of the bull market from when Trump got elected to when the bull market ended around December the 15th, right? So we had like a few good days. That's how I was able to generate a stupid profit from day trading alone. Okay, from day trading alone, from basically when Trump got elected, okay, to the end of the top there, December 15, I was able to pull in $451,000 day trading the market using this strategy and basically only shorting the market. I probably longed like 5 to 10% of my trades, but just because it's a bull market, it doesn't mean that I'm going to long when it comes to day trading, right? I'll hold a portfolio, but I'm not going to long anything short term because it's just not who I am, and it's also not the strategies that I'm used to. I'm used to trading in a bear market, and that's what I'm going to specialize in and talk to you guys about very soon. So because of these strategies and my immense amount of experience with this, I unfortunately have to call that the bull market is officially over already, okay? Now, I'm not gonna just talk about the Elliott wave structures. I'm gonna talk about the bearishly diverging signs as well that you see. So what you're seeing is the peak, okay? This is wave 3, and this is wave 5. What you're seeing is this bearishly diverging RSI between wave 5 and wave 3, okay? So that's very scary to see. Not only that, between these two waves alone, right? These two waves right there, you can also see it bearishly diverging, right? One has a lower high, which also shows that between this peak right here, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, not only do we have bearishly diverging signs between or within the fifth wave, but also within the entire structure as well. So because of this, I'm forced to believe from a technical perspective that we are now officially over and the bull market is most likely not going to continue. It is impossible for me to believe that a bull market can continue based off of the fundamental news that we've all seen that should have been very bullish, but they've impacted us highly negatively. And because the fundamental news, if it was bullish and if it was good news, it should have affected the market very bullishly, right? Very positively. But because we have the opposite effect of that, it makes me believe that the government's not on your side, Vanguard's not on your side, BlackRock is not on your side, and there's a lot of speculations into why this is happening, which I'll get into as well, so stay tuned till the end. Now, I've lost a lot of trust in crypto very recently, and so should you have. But the loss of trust doesn't mean that you can't profit. The loss of trust just means you have to be extra cautious and you have to adopt different strategies to be able to extract profits from the market. So for example, day trading is going to be highly profitable for those that have the skills to trade in this market. The only people that cry in a bear market are the people that can't long. For example, myself, I love bear markets, and I'll explain to you guys why and how I heavily capitalize in the bear market. I'm basically just waiting for the 74K range to get broken to the downside to get into the bear market ranges. And then once this happens, it's going to be very beautiful for me to believe that the day trading opportunities are going to be absolutely huge. And yes, billionaire otherwise, it happens quite often where wave 1 can have a higher RSI than wave 3. It does happen once in a while, absolutely. So I think the bear market's in, guys. So right now, what we're seeing is this, okay? We saw this, like we're seeing a huge drop. Now the support range is going to be coming up very soon, as you can see. March 14th was a very significant range because it marked the high of about 73,800 last year. Therefore, it's very likely that we're going to hit these ranges and then get a major bounce to the upside, okay? So that's the good news. Some people are also taking arbitrary lines, in my opinion, and predicting that, oh, this is going to hold around these ranges over here, as you can see, right? That yellow line there is basically just drawing a zone that's going to coincide with that green box. So it acts as like a double support because this was making higher highs, right? So the higher high may act as a support that coincides with the price action levels around the $72,000 to $74,000 range. Not only that, there's good news as well. There's most likely 5 Elliot wave counts that are going to likely be in very soon, coming to the downside. So if we just kind of take a look at it, we can kind of just see that this is like a 1 somewhere in there, right? This is kind of like a 2. I can count a small 1, 2, 3, 4, a big 4 up, and then a 5. And then of course, wave 4 always does something like that. It always does something like a triangle or a bearish flag, okay? So we see here that this was a triangle or a bearish flag like that, and it breaks down after, right? You can see that everybody was basically like bullish here, even myself for a while. And then later, you know, I was making fun of people, if you guys remember. Like, I'll show you guys the post. All right, I'm gonna show you guys the post. It's actually pretty funny. Just give me 1 second here. I know what I wrote. Flag. Nope, maybe not. Flag. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. Anyways, I was basically just telling everybody that this is a fucking bearish flag, man. Like, it's not a bullish sign in any way, especially after we broke down. And then we see this right here. It tries to pop back in. See that? See the wick trying to pop back in, but then it rejects it. So this is basically starting the 5th wave, in my opinion. Okay, this is starting the 5th wave, and it's gonna end very, very soon. It's gonna end very incredibly soon. This is probably like a 1, 2. Somewhere in there is a 2. Right, and then somewhere in there is going to be a 3, right, with 4 and the 5, or this might even be the 3 already, or the 3 is happening soon. But either way, what I'm getting to is I believe that the next support point is going to come up very soon, and that's going to be between $72,000 to $74,000, right? So I might have even wrote that somewhere in here like a long time ago. There we go. On March 17th, I even said that I expect a short-term rally and then a huge smash to 72 to 74K ranges, right? And I kept telling everybody, like, get over it. The bull market's over. There have been periods where it looked like it was breaking out, and then I changed my bias short term to bullish. And that needs to be understood, that you're allowed to change your bias. You should be able to react to data as it comes in. You can't just stay bullish or bearish forever. Like, some people are very stupid. I'll just say that straight up. They're very unintelligent people out there. I'm sorry to say that, but there are, man. Not everybody's created equally. And then they're going to comment on things like, oh, yesterday you were very bullish. You're flip-flopping. Now you're bearish. It's like, do you have a choice but to flip your decision? Do I have to stay bullish one day and then we get very bearish news that's affecting the market? Do I have to stay bullish just because, even if we're flipping now? So those people, I strongly recommend that you guys stay away from them as well. They're not healthy to be around. They're with their mom's, basement with their $500 portfolios that got wrecked because they're just buying meme coins and gambling, right? But the truth is, you should be bearish one day. You could be bullish another day. It all depends on the data that ends up coming in and how you react to it. The people that can react very quickly to this kind of news, they can prevent themselves from being in disastrous situations, right? And it's only the perma bulls, only the moon boys, only the amateurs that get very, very upset when the market doesn't go their way. But people like you and I, you follow me because I give you the real and the honest advice that's going to try to help you safeguard yourself from bad situations from happening, okay? So the fifth wave is coming in very soon, guys. I believe it's going to be in very soon. These are all making very good extensions, actually. So like, for example, the wave 2, right, is making like a reasonable extension, right? The wave 3 is a little bit lower than a 1-to-1, so that's very nice. And then if you take a look at the other extensions, right, from this wave here to the wave 5 so far, right, it's about 1.618. So these are actually very nice extensions, okay? I'm not keeping much in my trading account. Let me just see if I can connect it to show you guys on my Binance here. I'm literally keeping maybe about $100,000 in my account. Not really much in any way, because I just don't see a need to keep a large balance in my account. And I'm also not trading big. Like, 100K is honestly like a lot of money that you can make in the market, right? So I'm just gonna log into my Binance here and show you guys that I'm not really doing anything substantial or crazy, and it's not necessary either, like to have a very large balance. So now is like a time to basically be very cautious in the market. I believe it's not a time to like jump in and put in hundreds of thousands or something uncomfortable, right? Oh, what the fuck? I'm in a position right now. What the fuck? I didn't even know that I'm in a position. Free money for me today. What the fuck? When did I enter a layer short? When the fuck did I enter that? So I keep 104,700 in my account. I have been short on layer for a long time now, apparently. I've been like, the last few trades, I've been winning every single trade of mine, right? Like I'm up $5,000 this month day trading. So like, it's not really that bad. Just to show you guys, like I'm not losing any trades. I'm kind of winning every single trade so far. And this trade, I'm just gonna close it because we're at a support level. So I'll take my profit here of $1,300. I did not even know I was honestly in the trade. So that you guys just saw me win 1,300 there. Thank you for. I wouldn't have noticed it until recently, until later probably. And then the last few trades that I took, right, were on layer, on rare, on Philakone. So I've just been still killing the market. Like I'm up this month now. I'm up. It's not much, right, guys? Like I'll just be very transparent with everybody because I always am, right? I never lie about my profits or anything like that. There's no need to, man. The only person you fucking lie to is yourself. So I'll show you guys my P&L, right? This is just for how many days now? April 7. So I guess like for 5 days, my P&L is pretty reasonable. It's not like anything substantial. We didn't even finish today yet, right? So this is my 7-day P&L from the beginning of April 1 to April 7. So far in 7 days, I'm dividing that by 7. I'm making about $700 a day, right? And if I, about 700 a day, if I finished off the month, I'd probably finish off at about 21K on average. It's not a big profit to me, but if the bear market does come in, guys, like if we begin and we fall below, 74K, I'm gonna add probably another $400,000 to this account, right? Or I'll just leverage it and start trading 500K. But 100K, man, with a $100,000 account, even with a $50,000 account, guys, you can double that in a month day trading if you're good. Even with 20K, I can probably double 20K with higher risk trades in like a month. I think that a really reasonable amount to keep for day trading, if like, let's just pretend that you guys had like a normal job, okay? Like, you got like a normal job that you go to, like a person in America, okay? We'll just say that, making like 45,000, 50,000 a year, we'll just say. That's a little bit more than most normal people, I'd say. But $50,000 a year, it actually works out to be how much? That's $25 an hour about, right? Yeah, $25 an hour, I think. Does that make sense? So there's 50 weeks a year. They work by 40. 40, so 2,000. So 50,000 divided by 2,000. Yeah, so if you make 50 grand a year, you're making about $25 an hour, right? So like that's reasonable. I think that to become like a full-time day trader where you want to make more than the 50K, first of all, you're going to have to put in like, you're going to have to day trade for probably about a year or two, you know, on and off while still working at your normal job, okay? Because you won't be able to quit your full-time job and be profitable within a year. Let's be realistic. In the first year, you're probably going to lose everything that you put in. Like, that's the truth. It happened to me. It happened to everybody I know that's very successful, right? But then you get fucking stronger. You get a lot stronger. You get a lot tougher because the market, it starts to humble you. You're going to lose everything. So trade small, man. Trade whatever you're only willing to lose. I promise you that no matter how good you think you are, you're not better than the market or better than people like me with 10 years of experience, okay? So take a small portion of your paycheck. Trade with like $50 or $100 account. I'm serious, like $100 account size, okay? But don't paper trade. I really strongly disagree with paper trading now. The reason why I disagree with it is because there's no adrenaline or stress added to the paper trade in any way. Just because you can write it down doesn't mean you can execute it the same way you would when actually trading, right? Because if you're in the paper trade, there's no stress of like needing to stop yourself out, right? Paper trading, you're only gonna go for the best case scenarios. But if you actually trade with real money, that's real money that you're losing, man. You have to trade just enough to feel the stress to make good or bad decisions. So, you know, if you're making 50K a year at your job, you probably want to have a starting account size of like $100, $200. Something where it's going to impact you, where you're going to feel like, oh, I can buy a lunch, right? I could get myself a free lunch, a free beer, a free dinner, right? If you win. So you have to have that component of thrill when you're actually trying to trade. Otherwise, like, you're not gonna, like, paper trading's bullshit, guys. Whoever fucking tells you that, test accounts, you know, those test accounts on like exchanges, they're all bullshit, guys. There's nothing that's gonna give you real experience except for actually trading with real money. So trade with real money first of all, okay? And then you're gonna probably lose, you know, you're probably gonna lose thousands of dollars. But why trade with a large account to learn these same lessons that you would learn with a very small account, right? So the goal is to trade with a smaller account first of all, so you can make all these mistakes, so you can lose a little bit while learning, rather than losing a gigantic amount. The goal needs to be like systematic. You can't just jump into day trading and think that you're gonna outtrade guys like me or professionals out there. You're probably gonna lose everything, right? You will. And the goal is to learn at the beginning, make mistakes, lose a little bit of money, lose more money, lose even more money. And honestly, you're probably going to leverage a few times and get liquidated. If you haven't been liquidated yet, good for you. But if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the steps of progression. And then that's the first year. And then the second year, you start to like become a little bit better. You become wiser, right? You start to refine your mistakes. And then there's got to be a very strict process of like writing things down, right? Analyzing every trade of yours, creating a better routine. My strategy may not be the best for your strategy, right? As long as we extract money from the market and profits from the market in different ways, that's okay. So there's a lot of people that will make fun of my strategies like, oh, I can't believe you're risking $100,000 to make 1,000. That's like, because I'm trading 100K position size, right? So people think I'm risking 100K. These are pretty stupid people because I'm only risking like 1 or 2% of that 100K. I'm not risking actually 100% of it, right? So the way that I scalp is large position sizes, high confidence, high probability, highly confluent trades, right? To scalp for very small amounts that add up a lot. That's my strategy. Whereas other people might take a longer day trading position with smaller size, right? So the profits can come differently. And then other people, they might even swing trades. They'll like take a smaller position and they'll swing it for like days at a time. So it doesn't really matter the way that you extract profits from the market. All that really truly matters is how you end up optimizing and fine tuning that strategy that works for you and maybe for no one else. So even though I teach my strategies, I've got that live training group, right? I have the platinum tier group. I'm very surprised that there's still one more slot to join, by the way. If you guys want to join my live trading group where you can catch pretty much every single trade and also copy trade if you watch the streams, right? But it also focuses on education the most. Okay, it's focused on education where I narrate the trade and I also talk about like why I'm in it, and I also teach. You get my course, you get to see the trades that I take as well. Well, you'll see like 80% of the trades that I take, because sometimes it's like 8 in the morning and I don't want to get up to live stream, right? So if you guys want to join it, there's one slot left to join. Take a look at the description below at the end of the video, and you guys are going to get all the information that you need. But I think if you're serious about day trading and you want to take another step upwards to trade with somebody that's always profitable every month, just hit me up, guys. It's going to be one of the best investments that you can make in yourself. So that's pretty much how it's going to go for day trading. But a lot of people are not going to be profitable day trading because they don't have the skills to learn. Okay, day trading, it's not just about being intelligent. That's like one component of it. You have to be a pretty sharp fucking guy or girl or woman, and a very emotionally stable and balanced person to trade. If you're like hot-headed with anger issues, you're not going to do that well when it comes to day trading. You know what I mean? And also you have to know how to learn. That's super important. Being intelligent is not enough. Knowing how to learn is very important as well. For example, like doctors, lawyers, engineers, whatever, all those highly intelligent professions, they're not going to all be profitable day trading just because they're smart. There's got to be that emotional stability component that gets added to day trading that's going to help you be successful or maybe break you at the same time. It is not for weak people. Weak people are not going to be able to handle the stresses of the market. But when I talk about the component of learning, I'm talking about knowing how to write things down, right? Knowing how to evaluate your trades, knowing how to learn from your mistakes, knowing how to create rules for yourself that you're going to be disciplined to follow, how to become resilient, right? How to become more confident as well down the road. So if you can get through the first 2 years, right? Some people will do it faster. Some people will do it in 1 year and they're going to be profitable. I know guys who have been profitable after 8 months, right? I've seen their interviews. But for myself personally, it took me about 2 years, man. It took me a bull market and the bear market to become kind of profitable, right? It's 2015 to 2017. I wasn't profitable, like huge. 2017, I got lucky in the bull market because if you bought anything, you would just kill it. Remember in 2017, if you've been following me, I was trading with like $500 sizes, right? But I was one of the people that were doing well though, right? And then in 2018, that's where I really started to learn how to day trade because that was the bear market. And in the bear market, that's where I was literally forced to learn how to become a good trader to prevent myself from getting wasted. So if you can go through the first 2 years of day trading, you will become a very profitable trader. Yeah, 94K looked like it was going to get there until we actually got bull trapped, okay? That's some people are saying that in the chat. And you know what? It looked like we were going to get up there. We really did, but bull traps do happen, right? All the time. And because you get bull trapped, you have to change your consensus, right? You got to change your bias. So this is the lower high pattern that Bitcoin is making. Bitcoin is making a massive lower high pattern just like this. And eventually it's going to break, guys. Like it will break eventually. Right, I think that the 5 waves are in. Okay, it's either gonna break, like this is the count basically. It's gonna come in very, very soon. Okay, very, very soon in here. It's either gonna break or we're literally gonna parabolically go down. One of the two cases, but it looks like there's gonna be a very strong probability of bouncing around 72 to 74K first, right? Bouncing up there for the B wave. And then basically the C wave is gonna, like, I don't know how long it'll last for, right? But it looks like it's going to last for a pretty freaking long time, right? Probably like even till 2026 or longer. We really don't know, guys, right? Like I'm being optimistic here, okay? Like I'm being optimistic that this is going to be, I'll show you guys what I mean. I don't even think that this is the A wave. I got to correct myself, okay? I don't think that this is going to be this is ABC. I don't think that, right? That's what people are wanting, ABC, because this would imply that the correction's actually done. Like maybe it'll be like that. Like maybe it'll be like that, you know? You don't know, but this is what I'm thinking instead. I'm thinking it's not going to do that. I think it's going to do something like 1, you know, 2, like 3, you know, 3, something like that, 4 and 5. I think it's going to make 5, like maybe the 2 will be high, maybe 3 not shallow, but I think it's going to do something like that first, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's going to make maybe like an ABC. Like it's going to be a deep correction, I think, like a super cycle correction. And then it's going to finish off the final wave, right? The final wave coming down, wherever that will be. I think that Bitcoin, you guys are going to hate me for saying this, but I think Bitcoin has a high chance of hitting down here. You might not want to hear this, but I think Bitcoin's got a very high chance of hitting exactly where I just drew right here. Okay? Right there. This trend line. Okay, this lower high trend line. Right there. Like somewhere down here, so it could be anywhere from 30k to 40k. Sounds ridiculous, but you know, nobody ever thought that Ethereum would hit this right here. Nobody thought that Ethereum would break this higher low pattern, right? Nobody thought that, but it broke the 5-year pattern, guys. 5-year pattern that Ethereum broke, and now Ethereum is heading down, guys, to like $800, $900, $1,000 ranges in this green box. Right, so Ethereum is going to be between 877 and 1200-ish. So Ethereum's target, right, F target is between 877 to 1,150, I'd say, around there. I mean, there's no other choice but to believe that, right? It's not like Ethereum's just going to magically hold right there and then just bounce up. It's going for that target, guys. It's going for that target with guaranteed certainty, okay? And then you take a look at total 1 market cap. We just got destroyed. Total 1 market cap was originally held above the March 14 high and also above the previous all-time high. And you can see very clearly that we've now entirely bull trapped below it. So we're heading down to very low ranges, guys. Like super low ranges, like maybe even over here, right? This lower trend line now. You guys believe that? Ethereum is, or sorry, the total market cap is heading down, guys. I think it's got another 25-30% of a drop to go before it hits this trend line. Probably sometime this year, or maybe like sometime this year, I would say. It might even just smash to those lower levels eventually. And then total 2, okay? The total 2 is going to be basically like, you know, we broke that as well, right? The total 2 had the higher low trend line that was trending for like 500, 600 days, and then we broke that as well. So based off of everything we've seen, the market tends to go for these patterns, right? So the total market cap is probably going to hit there right away soon, and eventually I think it's going to break down. And then to total 3 is just about to break, guys. Like we hit the lower end over here. Nobody thought we were going to hit it, right? And here we are hitting it again. So you look on the bigger picture and it just looks like that's going to break eventually, right? There might be a short-term bounce, but eventually it's just going to end up hitting these lower trend lines like it always does. And people might be laughing, oh, lines. The market doesn't listen to lines. Well, you know what, man? 10 years later and a few millions of dollars later, I can assure you with 100%, okay, that we do psychologically hit these key levels of price action all the time. So right now, the market is on fire. I believe there's a little bit more of a drop to go for Bitcoin. And then after that, I think 72 to 74K is reasonable. Then I'll start considering some long positions for short term. So Polkadot actually just made a new low, guys. Okay, so Polkadot broke to a brand new all-time low. Okay, so Polkadot is one of the strongest coins. It's, you know, a big coin that focuses on interoperability. It's a layer 1. It's ranked, I think, top 10 in the market cap. And you can see now that it had a low here from September 2020, which is about 1.5 years, guys. Or sorry, 4.5 years. Okay, so this support held for 4.5 years. And now Polkadot is actually going to be at one of the lowest prices that it's ever been. Okay, so this is wild that these coins are now losing market cap insane amounts, okay? So I'm going to go to CoinMarketCap and check some things out with you guys. You can just see that, like, you know, these coins are getting demolished, guys. Like every Every single, like DOT was one of my favorite coins, right? Like where is it? It's 21, my bad, my bad. I mean, this coin reached a valuation of something like 20-30 billion dollars at some point, right? The all-time high was $55. All-time low is 269 5 years ago. 269. We're not that far away from it, right? So you can just see basically every coin, right? Every coin is just getting absolutely demolished in every way right now. It's not just that coin, right? You take a look at Solana as well. Solana is now making a new low, right? Solana is going to get very low, guys. Like very, 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 very fucking low. I promise you. Like, so right now we just smashed through the golden ratio range. Bitcoin is probably going to find a support soon. But realistically, like I'm going to guess somewhere around here that Solana is going to eventually hit like $47. Keep in mind that Solana made a massive rally, right? Around 8,000%. Then the FTX thing happened, right? FTX forced it to drop to $8. And then on like there was a day sometime there where Vitalik Buterin, he tweeted and saying that even though there's a big, you know, debacle going on, the big event with FTX being liquidated, that Solana still has a very, very bright future, and it's not something we should forget about. He tweeted that when Solana was $8, and that's where the parabolic move started to begin after his tweet. He was one of the people that drove the prices of Solana to the moon because he strongly vouched for it, despite Solana being a heavy competitor to Ethereum, right? So that's how we ended up going to the upside, 3,000 something percent. Huge, ridiculous. But Solana's got a lot of dropping to do, guys, okay? Some other big coins, like you can see XLM. XLM, guys, is probably going to get right back down to where the fuck it was. Right back down to the 84 cents range. I mean, there's no other way to see it, right? I don't understand how people think that the bull market can continue. We are going flying past heavy corrections, way past the golden ratio. Every single coin is doing that, right? And then there's, of course, Cardano. Cardano is also getting absolutely butt-fucked in every way. Cardano is one of the shit coins you should not be holding. Like, people think that because it's going to be added to the strategic reserve, it's going to fly. But man, it only did, like, if you think about it, Cardano only did 800%, right? Actually, after the, yeah, it only did, how much did it do? It did only 500% in like 3 years. It's nothing, right? Like, Cardano is way up there. And so it's getting absolutely wrecked right now. It's got one of the strongest retracements. This month was wild, right? Strategic reserve addition caused a huge liquidation wick of 77%. So, and then you look at the gaming infrastructure coins like Beam, for example, okay? So Beam is getting absolutely wrecked, right? It's going to make another lower low soon. Beam, formerly known as Merit Circle, is now dropping heavily. You take a look at Superverse. Superverse, you know, it ended up surging. In the bull market, it surged 500% in like very, very, very fast, guys. 500% in 4 months. And then now it's drawing down like 83%. So it could still draw down a lot more. You look at coins like Immutable, right? Immutable X here. These guys are getting absolutely destroyed in every way, right? They're dropping. So these are the infrastructure gaming coins. And you can even take a look at the other ones like Big Time, right? So now we can move directly to the games themselves rather than the platforms. And if you take a look at the gaming side, like the games themselves, not the infrastructure, right? Not the Web3 sites, etc., like Superverse, etc. They are all getting destroyed in every way. And you take a look at even older games like Axie Infinity, despite how amazing the tokenomics is, coins like Axie Infinity have just been dropping like a rock without any stability. So it's really going to depend on like, oh yeah, let's take a look at XRP. So XRP basically double top from the all-time high, right? Let's take a look at on Polkadot because they have the they have one of the strongest charts, right? Because Polkadot held XRP for the longest time. You can see the double top that happened. So like, I don't know, XRP is one of those coins, guys, where if like, just think about this, okay? Just hear me out. If you hold XRP, there could be a lot of other coins that you could be holding instead of it, right? And it did a really good rally, right? But to hold XRP is going to be like a 5 or 10 year hold. It's not going to be. Darling, did you just come home? Okay, welcome back. So it's going to be one of those coins where I would personally allocate a certain amount to somewhere else rather than holding XRP, because you got to understand their penetration against Swift and against traditional banks. They're not going to penetrate the Swift market and traditional banks for a very long time. Okay, it's too much money, man. We're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars, you know, in the market every day being transferred, whatever, around the world. So because of that, you're not going to combat anything like Swift anytime soon. So XRP, despite how great they've progressed so far, they're not going to do that well. Like 2017 was kind of the year. You guys know why this spike happened, right? It's because in Toronto, Swift was hosting a conference. Okay, Swift Banking was hosting a conference. And then XRP decided to be like, you know what? I'm going to host a conference as well, right? I'm going to host a conference as well called Swell. Swift hosted something called the Cybos conference in 2017. And then XRP was like, I'm going to host something as well, a big event in Toronto, 2 blocks away from Swift doing that, right? Because they were like, I got a big swinging dick too. So they hosted that Swell conference, right? And then the what's his name? I can't remember the guy, the CEO of Ripple. Fuck, can't remember his name. But he you know, he spoke, and it was so compelling that this is the reason that the spike went up during the conference. And then in February 2018, January, that's where it dropped. This spike happened during the bear market of 2018, after the bull market finished already. But since then, you know, there hasn't been much. This is all just lawsuit news, right? Lawsuit news and also strategic reserve news. But other than that, like nothing has really happened, right? So then you take a look at Link. Like Link already retraced 100% to July. Guys, the market's fucked for you guys if you're investing. But for people like me, we don't give a shit because we're not holding anything. And because we're not holding anything, we're basically just going to be day trading the markets. And we don't give a crap in any way at all if the market is bad, because we will still capitalize on this. So let's take a look at the market and see how it is trending just daily. So there's not going to be a lot of coins that are going to blow up today, guys. Like, you know, there's going to be some coins that move against Bitcoin, but eventually everything's going to like follow Bitcoin. You know, there's 2 coins today that's moving over 10%. It's nothing at all. So from a long perspective, there's nothing to long, guys. It's very scary right now, right? Very, very scary. I think the best long to make will be if this massive trend line, the lower high trend line, ends up getting broken, and also the super trend indicator on basically the 2-day chart. That'll be the best time to long. But for now, there's nothing to long in my opinion, okay? So other than that, I will be looking at short situations very, very soon. But my ultimate goal is for this green box at the top there to break. If it does eventually break, the bear market is 100% confirmed. And also there's going to be looking for continuation patterns to short all day. It was a very glorious bear market, in my opinion, when Bitcoin was like, Bitcoin was just dropping off the face of the planet. Because all that we did in the bear market was look for patterns like this. I'll show you. Okay, it was incredibly easy to trade. The bear market, if anybody that's been following me a long time, we were just basically hunting for patterns that showed up for a long period of time, like that one, hunting for patterns like this one, right? Hunting for patterns like this one, basically just hunting for patterns that are continuation patterns, right? Like on a lower time frame, I remember this big short. This is a 2-day chart, keep in mind. Hunting for patterns like that, right? Hunting for patterns like this, where it's just making like a higher low of some sort that we basically just a higher low pattern, and then we just short the market. We short the continuation, right? That's what I specialize at, shorting the continuation or shorting the 5th wave. So this is now what I'm going to look for on every coin, right? My lady, she's responsible for basically looking for every single coin and identifying, right? If you take a look like over here, you can really see them well. Here, I'm just going to zoom in like on a lower time frame so that you can see them incredibly well. Okay, you can see these lower high trend lines, or sorry, higher low trend lines. Do you see them? Higher low trend lines, and you're basically just shorting the break, right? And over here, you're looking for like a higher low trend line as well, just like this one here, and then you're basically just shorting the break. It was like that for everything. Here, this one was a very beautiful short as well, where when this part of the structure was forming, right, like around this structure, every time it hit the top again, right, like when it's starting to form a little bit, this one was like, oh yeah, this is the channel, it's gonna break down, right? And then eventually you just end up shorting it directly on the break, right? So easy. And then you can zoom into lower time frames after the break happens and then look for even more continuation patterns. Like continuation patterns everywhere, man. Continuation pattern, continuation pattern. That's all that it is in a bear market. That's how I'm going to be able to make a shit ton of money. And that's why not many people will be able to, because they'll just be hoping for long, right? That's why you got to be adaptive. You have to be creative. You have to be flexible. You have to adapt to these ever-changing conditions in the market. If you're only going to go for long positions and you're only going to go for like swing positions or investing in your portfolio or DCAing, there's going to come a time where you are not going to be able to use that same type of strategy and you will get wrecked. That's why the most diversified people in crypto, I would consider myself one of them, is like I'll do hyper successfully well, right? That's why I stay bearish most of the time, just to be conservative, to have a level of caution, to not get wrecked like how Moon Boys have. So I'll end the video here. I'm now going to move on to the platinum tier group. So for those that are watching, I'm going to be spending all day, guys. I'm not going out anywhere to hunt for a trade for you guys. And I'm going to guarantee that we will find a trade together. So I'll live stream for the platinum group very soon. And for those that are interested, there's still one slot left to join the platinum tier group. It runs for either 2 months at a time or 6 months at a time. It depends on your own preference on how you would like to join it. The cost is substantial to join, but then again, if you want to trade with one of the top tier traders out there that can really help you push yourself to the next level in terms of education and going through my course and finding trades with me, come join me. I'll make sure you guys are not disappointed. Other than that, guys, have yourself a great day. Stay very cautious. The market fucking sucks. Make sure you guys are staying healthy. Go to the fucking gym, guys. Go to the gym. Go get healthy. Go maintain that stress. You know, make sure you guys take care of your health. Stay cautious. Don't DC anything, guys. Make sure you follow me. You'll know exactly when I'm bullish again, and I'm going to announce it publicly. So other than that, have a great day, guys. I look forward to filling this one last slot for the premium or for the platinum group, and I'll see you guys there. Bye now. Have a great day, and thank you for joining me. If you enjoy these types of content, by the way, all you got to do to support me is just subscribe to my channel on YouTube and on Twitter or X, and also just like my content and show some support that way. Have yourselves a great day, and thank you for watching.